Eyes down for the morning, folks. Monday. Stunning day. Very hot. Far too hot for me. And I've had the trailer up, so I had to go to father-in-law's, who's been making some steps for Catherine so she can go out of the window and onto the flat roof where she has a little garden, all in grow bags and pots. And those cold frames I made for her years ago. So, what are we doing this morning? Well, I've dived back into this transformer for 5 minutes. Lols. I have repaired the fuse with a piece of 5 amp fuse wire. And now it's not blowing. But there is no voltage output from this transformer. I'm assuming that black is the common and yellow is 1 voltage and red is the other. That's what the spec says on the transformer anyway. And it should be, I think it said it should be 18 volts and 22 volts or something. But there's nothing. No volts at all. So I think that this transformer is kaput. I'm back convinced. It's not warming up, it's not buzzing. I've got the 240 volts supply to it and there's no volts. So there you go. So I'm pretty convinced still that it's a transformer. So I shall be making more efforts to get one this week. Then, having had enough of that now, then back onto this. Right, let's get this done. Let's get a pipe and a pipe and a pipe and a little tank up there and a nice piece of flue pipe connected to there. I think I'm going to go straight up and make a new hole. I'm going to put a bung in there and make a new hole straight up. It'll be much simpler rather than making all wiggly, bloody this, that and the others. I don't know, I'll decide later. But in the meantime, let's get the plumbing finished. Because when the plumbing's finished, I'll feel a lot better. Bye now. Right folks, we're back on plumbing. And there it is. Coupler on there, join the plastic to the copper. That's my expansion loop going straight up the side of there and over the top of the tank. As you can see, I'm making this up out of bits of copper pipe because I'm using lots of couplers, but it's working well. I've just soldered that joint down there. Put the pad on because if you don't, those concrete blocks spit and you end up with all half the paint missing, so that's just cooling at the moment. And then straight up there in an expansion loop. Now I have to get the water level at least the height of the top of that box. That is the box with the electric motor fan sitting on top of it. So that's where my water level wants to be roughly. Obviously I'll try and go higher than that. But what I might do is put a block under the tank, lift the tank up so that the tank's sitting higher. And just to make sure I can get enough head of water to bleed it to bleed it through. Still coughing and sneezing, but it is it's very high pollen today. Right, it's going to look quite artistic, that, isn't it? In fact, it's going to look more like an art installation than an actual plumbing installation. Never mind. Bring you back when I show you some more. Bye now. Morning folks, Wednesday. There's my expansion pipe. And I've just to put the 15mm cold water feed up the same way. But we have an emergency. We have an emergency on our hands. I just wandered over to this bench, which is wick with woodworm, and it's far more wick than I realised. Each of these little white marks are flight holes. So I think this bench has got to come out of here pronto. Let's get it done. Bye now. Well, I've done it. It's out. But I've forgotten how much stuff there was stored in there. It's incredible. I'm going to have to do something. I've got a couple of metal filing cabinets coming. But look at the state of it. Look at the state of it. Completely alive. I mean, I knew it had some woodworm in it, but I thought it was dead. And it's been dormant for years and years and years, and all of a sudden, in like a week or so, all these little holes are burst out over the top, and there's all this white powder, this frass they call it, all over the place. And there's even some in the back of this. So I'm not risking it, they're out. It's a great pity because that's a really useful and nice little antique storage rack, but no good. Full of woodworm. Right, back onto the plumbing, back onto the plumbing. The reason this happened is I was looking for a neoprene sheet, which I used to keep over there, right, on that chest of drawers. And then I remembered, I wandered over there and thought, oh shit, where did all that lot come from? There you go. Right, off we go. Well, do you ever have one of those days where it's like 2 steps forward and 4 steps back? Right, got the tank built up. No problem there, but I've had to really rake around for some bits. I've got my expansion loop finished, but it's to solder up, and I've got my pipe run started. But other than that, getting that all that stuff emptied out of that nasty rotten cabinet has taken all my time up. So I'm not here tomorrow, Hull tomorrow, so I'll see you all on Thursday. What a bloody mess. Guess what I'm going to have to do first thing. Bye now. Good morning folks, Thursday, and plumbing is going apace. The tank is up, thanks to a bit of whatever that strapping's called. Something band, isn't it? And I've just made the 15mm piece to go from the end of the tank diagonally behind the duct and then down that way. You will note that there is a heat protection board between the tank and the flue, although I never expect that flue to get hot because I'm actually going to take the forged flue out of there and put it straight through the ceiling, which is going to cause all sorts of fuss with my neighbour, but never mind. Right, you have to do these things, you can't let people bloody oppress you all your life. Right, so there we go. Crack on. I'm putting a 15mm stop valve probably there, and then I'll bend another piece of pipe to follow that round and go to there. So there we go. I know. Right folks, plumbing. Bending pipe with a spring on a piece of wire. When you bend a piece of copper pipe, bend it further than you want to bend it, and then bend it back to the right angle, because then your spring will pull out really easy. If you try to bend it exactly right and then don't bend it backwards, your spring will be tight. So I've just done that one, and this spring will pull out dead easy if I can do it one-handed. Look at that. There you are, straight out. Okay, bye now. Right folks, that's the plumbing done. All connected up, just got to put the cold feed through now. So the next job is to drill a hole up there. Let's do it. Right folks, the water main is in. the tap is in. Right? The water main is connected. So we're ready now to check for leaks and fill it up. So let's see what happens. And that's it, folks. She's full of water. My tap's working. No leaks, apart from a little dribble from that tap up there, which was because I hadn't put any PTFE on the compression rings, but there you go. But that's it, she's full. Put a plug on the pump and we can slush it round. And it's bled, so I have proved that the water level in there is higher than the bleed screw, which is right at the top of the radiator, which is exactly what we want. So I shall leave it full now overnight and see if we get any leaks in the morning. But now I think you'll agree it's time to tidy up this bloody mess. Right, bye now. Oh, hang on a minute. What I've got to do next is put the flue on. The flue. And I'm going to go straight up and straight into there. I'm not going to use that one, I'm going to put a bung on it because it's much simpler, I think, so far that's what I've thought I'm going to do, but we'll see. I'll have the flue to put on before I can light it, obviously, and a plug to put on the pumpo, and then we're ready to go for a test. Right, bye now. Oh dear, what's this? Water dripping. Water dripping because I think I forgot to solder it. I'm just going to check now. Well folks, how depressing is that? It's fucking leaking. And probably that corner as well. And it wasn't because I pressure tested it. I filled it with compressed air and pressure tested it. And look at that. I don't even know if I can get into that to weld it. How bloody awful. Where's that leaking from? Oh well, there's 2 weeks of work up the spout. It's leaking from that weld actually. I don't know. Well, and I filled it with compressed air as well. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a pain in the ass. And to top it all off, it's raining. See, the problem with these is that they're a one-piece construction. Well, I've shut the water off anyway, and I'm going to leave that tonight and come back to it in the morning with a fresh mind to see if I can do anything. There is some stuff you can get, which is called leak sealer. Whoops. Sorry about that. There is some stuff you can get which is called central heating leak sealer, which does work. It does work because I put some in my central heating system at Ratton Row, which is where I used to live, about 20 years ago, and it's still sealed. And that was pinholes in the radiators. So whether we can seal that with leak sealer or not, I don't know. Whether it'll stay sealed. Well, that is depressing. But never mind. It is what it is, as many other channels are fond of saying. Bollocks. Bye now. Friday. And I've just come to the conclusion that it may not even be worth trying to repair that. And the fact is, all I need to do is to remove it and fit another one in its place. Any wood burner with a water jacket would do. So I'm looking out for one, because I mean altering the plumbing to fit a different heat source is minor. Very minor indeed. So it's not all wasted. I will get it sorted as soon as I can come across one. Right, so what have I done so far today? Well, I've tidied up a bit, but mainly I've put that shelf unit together as a temporary store for all the stuff that was in that chest of drawers, and there was an amazing amount of stuff in that cupboard. It's not a chest of drawers, it's a cupboard really. It's an old teacher's cupboard, but boy was she full of woodworm, and they were bursting out all over the place. So I've sort of put that together, and that'll do for now. That will hold the stuff for now. I've also finished filling my Bisley unit with tooling and stuff. I wish somebody would buy this beautiful transformer 3-phase welder that I rebuilt, but never mind. Right, so next, after I finish tidying this up, I'm going to go on to a different form of torture, which will be making the grinder shelf for here. How far I will get, I don't know. But let's crack on and see how we get on. Okay, bye now. Right, that's got all that organised again. That's got that tidier. The rest of the place is a complete mess. And I'm losing the will to live. No, I'm not. I'm just a bit brassed off with this stove. Right, this is as far as we've got. Right, I've got my cheapest, crappiest, nastiest box section. And I've managed to find plenty of pieces to give me 4 uprights. And I reckon it needs to be, we could almost get away with that. And I might indeed do that. But you see, they stick out quite a long way beyond the feet. And so what I'll probably do is go for that piece and that piece. And call that the width of my shelf. So I shall make a shelf to suit that. Right? But the witching hour has arrived. I've had enough. Plenty of timber. I've had enough. That actually came out the old bench. And when I look at it, it's actually the same timber as this piece that I brought back from Keith. Because what I had was a load of lengths of timber that I thought I'll never use these, and took them up to Keith. And we used a lot of them up. But that's a piece that we haven't used up. So I'm going to put all that back together as my shelf. I'm going to put those together as my legs. And I shall have it bashed up, but next week. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for sending me the likes. Thank you for the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And next week I'm going to have to tidy this pigsty up. But I hope that next week I'll have a bit more enthusiasm about getting on with it. Bye now.